What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of AusHoopers TV. I'm finally back. Had a bit of time off, but today I'm going to do my NBA mock draft. If you haven't already, go check out last year's. I was off by the third pick, but I don't mind the player rankings that I kind of drafted them in. So go check that out. I'm going to do this year's mock draft, and then on Thursday I'll bring out another episode where I kind of react to the draft and react to where the Aussies went in Tyrese, Rocco, Lockie Aldridge, and Alex Tui. Maybe Ben Henschel. We'll see how he goes and if he gets drafted. If not, he will go to Florida or return back to the Wildcats. Make sure you guys are following us on all the podcast streaming platforms you guys are listening on, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. We appreciate it, and let's get straight to it. Mind if I look down, because I have pre-done this draft. I've done a few trades. I have to look down and kind of read my notes and see who I picked. The first pick I don't have to look down for. This is going to be Cooper Flagg consensus. I don't have to deep dive into it too much. Cooper Flagg is the number one pick here. There isn't any mocks nowadays that has Cooper Flagg falling past one. Perfect fit. Dallas obviously rigged the draft to get Cooper Flagg, trading away their star to a big market. So we're going to go Cooper Flagg here. He is the best player in this draft. He is in my opinion, once-in-a-lifetime talent. He's great defensively. He, in my opinion, is a smart defensive Brandon Ingram. And that might not seem too enticing to some people, but I think Cooper Flagg is going to be a really good player. I think he's got a perfect opportunity here in Dallas. Would have preferred to see him on a Utah, Wizards, maybe Brooklyn, but I think this is a win-now situation for him. You can pair him and Davis at the 4-5. You can put him at the 3 with Gafford and Lively to switch at the 5 spot. They've got good wings in Christie, Clay, as you can see down here. Caleb Martin they've still got. Jaden Hardy off the bench. Kyrie is out for most of the year. Whether they go get Drew Holiday, I'm not sure. But we're going to take Cooper Flagg here with the number 1 pick. Not too much to talk about. With the number 2 pick, also lucky to get this. As you can see by my hat, I'm pretty annoyed about these top 3 picks, as I don't think they earned it. But yeah, I think it's going to be Dylan Harper, quite obviously. Dylan Harper, a lot of people were a bit concerned with this fit. I think it works out pretty well for the Spurs. I like the veteran presence that Harper's going to get early on with Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox. I think it's going to be battles at training between Castle, Fox, Paul, even Branham and Wesley I think are pretty good as well. And Stephon Castle. I think down the line, I think that you got to look, when you're drafting, you got to look 4 years from now. Chris Paul's not going to be around. De'Aaron Fox might be around 30 to 32 range. So Dylan Harper can play off ball as well. He's really good. He is the second best player in this draft, and I think Spurs get this draft is a 1A, 1B. I think they get the second best player in this draft, and he's going to be really good for them moving forward. And down the line, Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper are going to be your backcourt pair. And I'd be really excited about that if I'm a Spurs fan. And let's see what they can do. There is rumors swirling that they might trade this pick for Durant, Jaylen Brown, Giannis. I think they keep it. They don't rush the process. They keep building this young core. And if not, you get trade assets. Philly. This is going to be my first trade. So I think Philly's looking at this season like the East is open, right? You just saw the Indiana Pacers make it. Obviously, the Pacers are a good team. They shocked a lot of people. They had one of the greatest playoff runs ever. Very exciting playoff run. But if you ask yourself, with the life on the line, would you put your money on the Pacers running it back? Even if Halliburton was healthy, probably not. Okay? Jason Tatum's done his Achilles. Halliburton's done his Achilles. Damian Lillard has done his Achilles. They're 4 of the 5-ish, 6-ish best teams in the East. Pistons may still be there. Orlando's made moves. There's no real contender in the East. Philly can do it if healthy. McCain's coming back. You got Embiid. You got Paul George. You got Maxey. This team has the chance to still do it in an open East. Don't hit the reset button just yet. I'm still trusting the process if I'm Philly, and just pray that these guys stay healthy. Now, does Ace Bailey solve all our problems? No. Is he the best fit for Philly right now? Probably not. And if I'm Philly, I'm okay moving down 4 spots and getting whatever I can. Whether that's more draft picks, whether that's an extra player. I just need more depth if I'm Philly, and just pray for health. So with this, we are going to trade this pick. Alrighty, so our first trade of the night is going to be the Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, the reasoning behind each of the teams. So Brooklyn are moving up. They're going to go all in on Ace. They don't want to take Concanipple. They don't want to take Malowach. They're not trusting it. They kind of want to keep Claxton maybe. They want to give Ace Bailey a foundation and a fresh canvas to paint on. In a way, they're gonna get rid of Drummond probably. They'll waive him or keep him maybe. I don't know, but they're gonna go get Ace. They're gonna give up 8 and 27. They've still got 19 and 26, so they're gonna get 2 other first round picks. They're not gonna take 4 and sign them all. They do lose Philly's 27 pick, but they've got 2 more. So Philly's idea behind this trade: you lose your backup depth in Drummond, who wasn't a huge piece of them. You do lose a 3rd pick, but you don't trust Ace Bailey if you're Philly. You don't think he's going to fit. You want someone that's going to help right now. And in your eyes, that's Malowach and Concanipple, who you're praying fall to 8. Now, that might be a reach because not many drafts have him. Concanipple going to 8. Not many drafts have Concanipple going to 8 either. Kaman Malowach going to 8. But you're praying one of them falls. You're hearing that Wizards are high on Fears. You're hearing the Jazz are high on Trey Johnson. You're hearing the Hornets are high on VJ Edgecombe. You think the Nets are going to take Ace. You're thinking one of these guys fall. And you're banking on it. If not, you're going to get Trey Johnson. You might get VJ Edgecombe. I doubt it. You're going to get someone that you like. You get a later pick here at 27 to add to your depth. And you get your pick back in 2027 in an unforeseeable future for Philly. That's my thinking behind it. I think this is a great move for both teams. So the Nets are picking here at 3, and they really like Ace Bailey. They're going to take the risk on him. They think they've got an open slate of a team where they can take anyone, and they're going to have the next 3 or 4 years to take as many shots as they want, rather than Ace going to Philly or VJ Edgecombe going to Philly, where they're going to be the 5th option on a winning team and expected greatness. So Ace Bailey is going 3rd to the Brooklyn Nets, and he's going to have this team to himself, and he's going to be their guy. I really like this fit for Ace, and I like this trade for Brooklyn moving forward. Now, the Charlotte Hornets here, a lot of people have him going 4th, and I'm going to keep it consensus. I don't mind Trey Johnson. I just think he butts heads with the non-defensive sort of big 3 that they're building in LaMelo, Brendan Miller, and whoever they draft here. I think VJ Edgecombe has a lot of upside for Charlotte. And I think a LaMelo, VJ Edgecombe, Brendan Miller, 1, 2, 3 works really well. You've still got Miles Bridges. You've still got Mark Williams. You've still got Grant Williams. You've still got Yusuf Nurkic. I think you can take someone decent with your 2 second overall picks as well in a big. You can also go after a big in free agency. But I think VJ Edgecombe has the biggest upside and the biggest chance to be great out of these guys. Trey Johnson's probably a better scorer than him. But to balance this team out, I think this team needs some grit. And I think this team needs a bit of defense. And I think VJ Edgecombe can bring that. Concanipple's also not a bad choice here. But I would be taking a 2 or 3. And I'm going to take VJ Edgecombe. I think this is a great pick for Charlotte. Now, the Utah Jazz here, I was tossing up moving them up to 3 to go get Ace or Edgecombe. But I think they're going to stick with their pick here and go with someone that could be the best scorer out of this class. And I think it's going to be Trey Johnson. Easily one of the most prolific scorers in this draft class. I like their... The fit obviously is tough. I think they've got a lot of their positions sorted. I don't know if Walker Kessler's going to stay. Laurie and Collins at the 4. You've got 3. Bryce Sensabaugh was pretty good for them last year. They've still got Cody Williams going into his 2nd year. Drew Zane played some good minutes last year. I'd be looking at this team like Collier, maybe Keontae, Taylor Hendricks, and Filipowski. That's the 4 I'm looking at. Let's kind of, and Sensabaugh obviously. Let's build. Let's kind of take whoever we want. And if Keontae's kind of a combo guard for them, whether they see him starting or not, I think Trey Johnson can still move to the 3 if need be. But these guys need a name, they need a scorer, and I think Trey Johnson has all the room in the world over there. So we're going to take Trey Johnson with the 5th pick. And I kind of like this for them. I am annoyed that they didn't get a better pick because they're kind of a team that doesn't really have anyone. But I think Trey Johnson fits in well here. Now, the Wizards are going to shock everyone with this pick. Now, obviously, you can see by my hat I am a Wizard supporter. A lot of people have Concanipple in the top 3, 4, 5, or 6 now. I just think Wizards are I think the Wizards are building a foundation for that one guy to come in and slot in, and he's going to have an army around him. So they've got Brogdon and Smart, they've got Middleton, they've got Koulibaly, Sadiq Bey, they've got Alex Sarr, they've got Keyshawn George and AJ Johnson. Colby Jones even played great for them at the end of the season. Tristan Vucevic, I don't know if his name's on here, doesn't look like it, is really good for them at the 5. And they've got Bub Carrington as well. Now, it would make sense fit-wise to take Jeremiah Fears, but if I'm the Wizards, Jeremiah Fears isn't that future point guard, in my opinion. I could be wrong there. There's word that he could be the second best player, if not the best over Dylan Harper, as a guard in this draft. I'm not buying it. I think he can score. I think he'd be good in the Wizards. He'd have the the steering wheel to do whatever he wants for the first few years. A lot of people have Jakachonis here. Also, not a believer. I think Wizards are kind of waiting on that one, and they'll give Bub the keys to the one spot for the meantime, if not Jordan Poole as of right now. This team needs size. If anyone watches Wizards, they get out-rebounded, they get bullied underneath. Alex Sarr hasn't put that weight on yet, and looking forward in 3 years, Alex Sarr, you want him to be a kind of 4 guard. You want him to stretch the floor and be a perimeter shot-blocking big. You don't want him guarding the Embiids. You don't want him guarding the Jokic. You kind of want him on the smaller wings where he can pin him if they drive, and he's going to get out and he's going to pick and pop threes. You kind of want Alex Sarr to slide with the 4-5 depending on what they have, which I think will be really good. Right now they kind of run Koulibaly, Keyshawn George at the 4, but this team needs size, and I think they're going to get a really good big here in Carmen Maluach. I like that he can space the floor as well. Really good big, and I think this team's going to embrace him. He's going to fit in with the culture. And he is a lob threat as well. Really like this pick, and this just adds to that foundation. They've also got the 18th pick and the 40th pick. So there's going to be guards at 18, whether that's Igor Demon, whether Jakachonis falls, whether that's someone like Jace Richardson. If they want a short-term guard, there will be one at 18, but I think the guards are kind of set for now. You can get a point guard in free agency if you want a vet point guard to kind of move Bub off the ball a little bit. But this is a great pick. He's the best big in this draft, and I believe he's going to be a really good player. So I'm going to take him at the 5. And if not, you bring him off the bench for Sarr. I don't see a scenario where Carmen Maluach doesn't work out in the NBA. I really don't. So they're going to keep building the foundation, and maybe next year they go and get a Darren Peterson to be the number 1 option, and he's going to have an army around him, defensive army. Now, the Pelicans with the 7th pick. I've got another trade. I do have another trade, and this is a blockbuster. I'm going to show it on the screen in the next slide. It's huge. So, Ja Morant is going to pair up with Zion in New Orleans. New Orleans is thinking, we don't have to get rid of Messi. We don't have to get rid of Trey Murphy. We lose Herb, we lose CJ, and we lose DeJounte. Now, that might seem like a lot. DeJounte has torn his Achilles, and he is out. He's not going to play most of next season. And we didn't like that experiment. Although they didn't play much with each other, we need someone to pair with Zion now. If you watch Zion last season, he doesn't have help. Zion needs help, and Ja Morant gets a new situation. You get Corey Kispert. And a lot of people that don't know Corey Kispert, I do. He is a great player. 3-and-D, shoots logo bombs, can get to the rim, uber athletic, can defend, he's fast, can low-key create, sniper, can heat up, young, on a great deal. This is a great player in Corey Kispert you're getting. And Rashawn Holmes, low-key backup big. They don't have many bigs in New Orleans. They've got Hernan Gomez, Olynyk, Messi. Rashawn Holmes is a good player as well. Bit of a bad deal he's on. So, you lose those 3 players. You lose this pick in Indy, which is a little bit worrying. They don't have Halliburton, like I said. These 3 second-round picks, They're later down the track. You still have 2027 picks, so you're not worried about losing this one. These two, you kind of miss out on these drafts. That's the kind of, you top 3 protect unless you flunk out and you lose the 7th pick, which is kind of big. But you're kind of looking at this like, we don't like anyone here. We want someone to pair with Zion now. We want to sell to seats at the minimum, and we're going to take an athletic, posterizing duo. We're going to get Kispert. We kept Trey. We kept Yves Missi. Maybe we can sign someone in the offseason. We're getting our superstar. CJ McCollum flunks in big games, sells, doesn't make shots. Herb Jones is a real big miss, and 7, and a little bit of your future. You've still got picks, and then if it doesn't work, trade Jar and Zion for your picks back. But you're taking a risk. You're going to go get Kispert and Jar for an injured DeJounte. Few picks, Herb, and CJ. That's how you look at it if you're Pelicans. Wizards, you take on DeJounte's contract. You take a bit of salary, 3.5 mil. You do lose Kispert and Holmes. But to get DeJounte, this indie pick is really what you're looking at. Maybe to flip DeJounte later on. And then second round picks, which you can use in a trade. Decent move for Wizards. Kispert is a big loss. But you're just hoping that AJ Johnson, Colby Jones, Keyshawn George step up. You're not going to use DeJounte. This is kind of what you're trading for right here. And these trade assets. Now, if you're the Grizzlies, you're kind of hitting the reset button. And I'm going to explain it with this upcoming pick. You get CJ McCollum to kind of replace that Desmond Bane, Ja Morant role. You get Herb Jones, who you're kind of banking on to be that 3-and-D that people want on their team. Later down the track, and use him as a huge asset. He's still young. He's on a great deal. You get this 7th pick because someone is on the board, and you get 2 first rounds down the track as well, just for losing Ja Morant. This is a great get back for Ja, in my opinion, and a great foundation to keep for who you're going to take with this next pick. All right, so the Grizzlies land the 7th pick after that blockbuster trade. Obviously, it's a little bit unrealistic. Grizzlies fans might be really mad at me, but hear me out. Okay, Grizzlies fans, hear me out. Your playoff kind of experience over the past few years has been disappointing. There's a lot of off-court stuff. Even just going into the playoffs and Ja Morant saying they're fine in the West. You know, these guys aren't going to bother us. All this sort of stuff just to get gentlemen swept in the first round or get beaten in the play-in or lose badly in the first, get swept by the Thunder. I know Ja had an injury, but either way, you were down 2-0. They came back. Without Ja, they came back by, what were they down, 30 points? Then you got flogged in Game 4. The West is just super stacked. Let's look forward. Okay, he's had a lot of off-court issues. Let's look forward. We're going to take what people are saying is arguably the best guard in this draft. I like how he can get to the rim. I like how he plays off 2 feet. I like his jump shot. And we're believing he can create and get a bit better defensively. Good size guard at 6'4". Jeremiah Fears has the ability to be their next guy. So they're gonna get rid of Ja and they're gonna put all their chips on Jeremiah Fears with this 7th pick. He's got one of those NBA names as well. I know that's a superstition, but I'm already seeing the nicknames. So we're going to take Jeremiah Fears with the 7th pick, and we're going to sort of rebuild. They've also still got the 16th pick through the Desmond Bane trade, so I think they're hitting a bit of a reset button. They're going to keep Jaren Jackson Jr., and they're going to, right now they've got Fears, JJJ, and Zach Edey, and we're going to see who they pick up with the 16th pick as well. They've also got Herb Jones and CJ McCollum in those picks as well. So with the 8th pick, the 76ers are jumping out of their chairs because they get the guy. He's fallen to 8. They wanted Malawach or Conkanipple, and they were praying that he fell. And Conkanipple has fallen to number 8. The analytics say this is one of the best solid picks in this draft, and it will be very hard for him not to fit in the NBA. He's one of those guys that is just going to slot into Philly. He's a shooter. He can defend. He can get to the rim. He can score at all 3 levels, and I think he's going to be really solid for them. He brings shooting. I think he slots in right around here. I know Justin Edwards played pretty well. I don't know if they're going to keep Oubre. They could use some size. They do have another pick here. They've got 27 through that trade, so they might get another sizey big for their front court. But yeah, I think Conkanipple can slot into this 2-3 spot. I don't know how long Jared McCain's going to be out for. But Quentin Grimes, Paul George, Justin Edwards, and Concanipple can slot in and kind of fill that role, whatever they need. So yeah, I'm excited with that pick. Concanipple moving forward, and he's going to go into a winning environment straight away. And I'd be happy if I'm Philly. Move down, we've now got the 27th pick, and we've got our pick back next year for an Ace Bailey, who we weren't really sure about. So we're going to take Concanipple. Now, the Toronto Raptors. This is an interesting one. I'm not super high on who I have them taking here. A lot of people have Asenge going to the Raptors here. I just think he's a little bit raw and kind of is a little bit similar to Scotty Barnes in a way. They do like their lengthy, tall, long players. They don't have much point guard depth. Obviously, Jamal Shead had a pretty good first year. Do you trust him quickly to be that guy moving forward? There is rumors of Barrett moving. Ingram's been in trade talks. They don't have backup bigs unless you run Mogbo and move Boucher down to the 5 a little bit. Did like what I saw from Jacoby Walter, Greg Dick, Abaji last season. Jared Roden's also a really good player. I don't know if he's still on this team, but Carter Bryant could be a good pick here. I think they're just going to get a bit more point guard depth and get Kasparas Jakachonis here. I don't mind Igor Demon either, but I think Kasparas has a chance to run this team. He is really good in the pick and roll. You are trusting his shot. He's a really good player. Has a lot of size. I think if Quickly's getting outmatched, this 6'6" guy next to Barrett, Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and then Jakob at the 5. This is a good spot for him. You give Kasparas the keys to this team, and I think this is a pretty good spot for him. So I'm pretty happy with this as a Raptors fan. Anyone else here? Igor Demon, if you like him a bit better, maybe. I just see a little bit of flaws with his shooting. And I think, yeah, you could pick him here. It's kind of a flip of the coin. I'm going to take Kasparas. Derek Queen's another option to back up Jakob. I'm just not. I think Kasparas is just a bit of a better prospect, has a bit more upside. So we're going to take Kasparas Jakachonis. I'm just not sold on Essengay yet. And I think he's just kind of button heads with the rest of this team. So if we're going to push for the East, which I think is pretty open next season, let's get Kasparas Jakachonis to back up quickly. Next pick is Phoenix. They got this pick in the Kevin Durant trade, formerly with Houston Rockets. Now, this is an important pick. Whether they keep this or reroute it with the Jalen Green, not sure. They've got 29 as well. They've got 2 second-round picks late, which these late second-round picks aren't going to be great, in my opinion. Hopefully, I eat my words on that. But with this 10th pick, I think they're just going to take a player that's going to be the most impactful straight away, that is also young. And that's going to be Derek Queen. Derek Queen is arguably a top 6, top 7, maybe even top 5 player in this draft. Had a great freshman season with Maryland, and they don't really have much front court. Right now it's Booker, Beal, and Jalen Green. You're going to take Derek Queen, who can slide between the 4-5. He can play next to Nick Richards. He can play next to Mason Plumlee. He can play next to Bol if they need him at the 5. They can do a lot of stuff with Derek Queen, and if he turns out to be good, drops a little bit of weight, can work on that shot, this is a really good pick for them. And if they can get a impactful player here at 10, we'll see the direction Phoenix are going in. But they got off the KD contract, and they get Derek Queen here at 10. Pretty good that he slid this far, and I'd be pretty happy with that if I'm a Phoenix fan. Now with the 11th pick, I've got another trade. Now, Portland fans are probably going to be wondering, why are we trading? Well, I'm just not sold on just getting one player in this first round. It doesn't do anything for me, so we're going to need as much players as possible. They did just get Drew Holiday. I'm recording this straight after they traded for him. 2030 second round pick and a 2031 second round pick in that trade, so they didn't get the 32nd in this one. I thought if they did, that would be a pretty good get back, but they got picks 3, 4, 5 years away. So we're going to trade this pick and get 2 players instead of 1. And the team that makes the most sense is going to be OKC. They're going to trade the 15th and 24 to move up to 11. So the way you're looking at this, if you're Portland, is, we're kind of sold on Essengay or Carter Bryant. We're not too high on either. I think this is just them not being super sold on Carter Bryant, turning into a superstar, which some people are. You don't really like the fact of Igor Demon coming off the bench for Scoot. You're kind of happy with letting things fall into place and getting a decent player in the next 4 picks. You're kind of happy with anyone. and just hoping one of these guys slide. And then you're going to get another pick at 24. Maybe you have your eyes on someone later in this draft. But the Thunder have their eyes on someone here that they like, and they don't want to roster 2 first-round picks this year, as they just won the NBA Finals, and they're not going to either play, or they're just not going to get any minutes. They're not going to play, or they're going to be J-League, or they won't have a roster spot for them. So Thunder move off 2 picks, and Portland get another pick to add to their young depth. Assuming they're going to get rid of Grant, assuming that they might get rid of Aiden, assuming that they drop Drew Holiday maybe, they just traded Anthony Simons. Who knows what else they're going to do? We're going to go get more young pieces to add to this young depth. So now the Thunder are picking here at 11 after that trade, and Noah Essengay is kind of interesting here. I think Carter Bryant is very interesting here for them. Colin Murray-Boyles would be a really good pickup for them as well. I'm going to take someone not on this board. I don't mind Igor Demon, but I think they're going to try kind of trust in the Nikola Topic kind of idea. Nikola Topic was a projected top 3, top 5 pick before he got injured, then fell into Thunder's hands. I don't have them taking anyone. Joan Berenger is kind of rising up draft boards. He just seems a little bit, I don't know, he's going to fall down mine a little bit. He just seems a little bit uncoordinated for my liking. But I don't mind the idea. He is 18. The Thunder, don't mind Thomas Sorba. I've seen a lot of drafts having him at 15. But I think the Thunder aren't going to let... When Thunder like their guy, they go and get him. They make sure no one else gets him. I think they like Asa Newell here. 6'11", putting on size this offseason. Was on that Montverde team with Flagg and McNeely. I think this is a good spot. I think he can slide to the 5. I think he can slide next to Chet. I think he can play next to Hartenstein. I think he's going to be able to move his feet and guard the perimeter. If Chet wants to play 4, Asa Newell can come in. I think I saw a little bit of I wouldn't say a fault, but if Chet Holmgren got fouled out in the Pacers game, I would find it really hard for Hartenstein to go out and guard Turner and Siakam on the wings. So they go get another guy that can help that. And I think Asa Newell can be a lob threat. And I think in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be really good. Especially maybe in 6-7 years when they move on from this core. They've got Nikola Topic, Casey Wallace. They've got AJ Mitchell. They've got all these younger guys. They're going to have Asa Newell. Headline, the young guys. He is just 19 as well. I like Asa Newell here at 11. Bit of a jump up for him. Now we've got another trade. Let me dive into it. Alrighty, this is the first kind of move in my mock which doesn't really make sense if you're kind of looking at it off the rip. Now, from what I saw in the Timberwolves playoff run, Mike Conley is useless. Now, I'm not dissing Mike Conley. He's coming to the end of his career. He's had a great career. For this Timberwolves team, they need a not tall, but they need a sizey guard that can defend and create at the 1 that isn't going to shy away and wants to make plays. Mike Conley looked like he was forced to make plays, kind of get down to the rim and make floaters, was kind of getting attacked on offense. They need someone that can guard the Shays, can guard the Lucas, can guard the Ja Morants, can guard the Steph Currys. And obviously that might be Ant Edwards, but let's get someone that can create. Let's take a risk on Lonzo Ball. A lot of people rate him around the league. Obviously you guys have seen Lonzo Ball at full health. Let's take a risk. We're only really losing Terrence Shannon Jr. and seconds. Like, you just have to look at it like that. Mike Conley might have another 1 year or 2 years in him. We're going to replace Mike Conley with Lonzo Ball and potentially someone with this 12th pick we're moving up for. The Bulls, they lose Lonzo, and you're probably thinking, what are we going to do with Conley? You're looking at this like it's Terrence Shannon Jr. and future seconds, and we still get a pick 5 picks down. The Bulls are probably thinking Igor Demon's just a bit of a reach right here. If he's there at 17, perfect, we'll grab him. They're not a big fan of Carter Bryant at the moment, although he kind of fits their timeline to an extent. They're just not a believer in him and the way they want to move. They're going to make another deal. I'll spoil it. So we're gonna kind of move the congestion of Lonzo Ball. We're going to get a vet in Mike Conley. Maybe we waive him. Maybe we move him on for another deal and give him to a Mavs or a Clippers or another team that kind of needs a point guard. We're going to get Terrence Shannon Jr. to run the 3 rather than kind of guess and predict that a 3 in this draft kind of plays up to caliber. We're going to get Terrence Shannon Jr., who we saw potential in and we are very high on. We're going to move down 5 spots and we're going to get 2 second-round picks as well. That's kind of the way I look at it. And the Timberwolves are banking on Lonzo Ball and they're going to move up to a guy and see a guy on the board that they really think are going to make an impact and push in the West next season. Now, the Bulls might not be too happy about that trade right there, but I think they're going to keep Pat Williams, unfortunately, for Bulls fans. I don't mind Carter Bryant there in the long run. Really not a bad pick if I'm Chicago. Colin Murray-Boyles is also an opportunity for them, but I think Bulls look at it as they're getting TSJ. And if you watch him in the playoffs, really good player. They're going to put their belief in him, and they're going to move down to 17. They also get off the Lonzo Ball, congesting the guards. They've been on Lonzo Ball for quite a while. They still get 17, and they get 2 future seconds, which they can use in draft capital. Obviously, they're going to move off Mike Conley, in my opinion, if they get him. Or he just comes off the bench for Kobe White. But Bulls, also an open East situation. Maybe they do something with that, but I think they look at it as we move down 5 positions and gain TSJ, who we think is going to be really good in the future. Now, the Timberwolves, obviously, they lose TSJ, but they like someone here that's going to impact their roster. Mike Conley was a bit of a no-show in the playoffs, in my opinion. He's a bit of a... I just feel like he underperformed. So I'm going to move off Mike Conley. I know they had a lot of post-game pressers saying they wanted to do it for him. This playoff run's for him. They're going to come back and win for him. Maybe they don't move this pick, but let's have fun with this mock draft. Let's make a trade. What I think would be best for the team. If I'm Minnesota, I'm going to take someone that's going to impact straight away. And I think that's going to be Colin Murray-Boyles. One of the better defenders in this draft. I think he's a workhorse. I think he has Timberwolf written all over him. I think he's going to score. Now, they do have bigs. They've got Rudy, they've got Nas, they've got Julius Randle. Luka Garza is still young that they bring off the bench. McDaniels can slide to the 4 a little bit. But I'm going to bring on a big that can play when Nas Reed isn't performing, or if Nas Reed needs a backup off the bench. I think Colin Murray-Boyles can guard 5s, he can guard 3s, he can guard 4s, and I think this is a guy that can come in and impact straight away, better than TSJ. And they also get Lonzo Ball to fill that Mike Conley spot, a defending, passing, scoring guard. You're going to pray that he has recovered well. A lot of people reported saying he couldn't walk, but if Lonzo Ball is back to 100%, and you've got Dillingham off the bench, Ant Edwards, DiVincenzo, Nikhil, you've got Jaden McDaniels as your 3. At your 4, you've got Randall, Colin Murray-Boyles, and then at your 5, you've got Gobert and Nas. This is a deep team now. Now at 13, Atlanta have a lot of options here. Carter Bryant is still on my board. They aren't believing in him. They're not believing in SNG either. A lot of people fall in NBA drafts. Igor Demon kind of interests me as a backup for Trae Young at 6'9". Can also slide to the 2 and be a backup 2 for them. I think they are missing guard depth. I wouldn't mind a backup 3 as well for Reece O'Shea. But I'm going to take someone that I think a lot of teams want. And yes, I'm scrolling. I'm going to take Cedric Coward here with them. Former D3 player, shoots the lights out, defends, great size. He is a senior. He brings a bit of age to this team. I think this team needs a bit of grit. They need someone to lead the pack defensively. And I have them taking Cedric Coward with the 13th pick. I don't even think that's a reach. I really like that pick for Atlanta. A lot of Atlanta fans might like someone else there. I think Cedric Coward's a great pick for them, especially with that team moving forward. Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Reece O'Shea. You add Cedric Coward off the bench. I like the pick. Now at 14, the San Antonio Spurs. A lot of options here. They took Dylan Harper with the 2nd pick. They have the chance to add Joe and Berenger to back up Wemby. I didn't mind Mamu's minutes off the bench last year. I thought he was alright. Charles Bassey obviously dropped early. He hasn't played a full healthy season yet, so I don't mind him as a backup 5 as well. I think they can go and get a backup big at 38 potentially, or off the free agent market. I'm just taking best player available here if I'm Spurs, with the biggest upside for my long-term plan. Igor Demon, I don't want to overcrowd the guards. I took Dylan Harper. Carter Bryant is obviously not a bad choice. I really wouldn't excuse anyone from taking him here, but I'm going to take Noah Essengay here. French connection with Wemby, and I think he has a really good potential to be a good defensive wing, almost like Sohan, potentially with a jump shot. A bit of a better Sohan maybe, is the way they'll look at that. 6'8", his measurements came in insane through the pre-draft process. So we're going to take Noah Essengay here and give him a French connection with Wembanyama. If this pick doesn't hit, doesn't matter. Okay, you've kind of got your draft picks. This is kind of a swing for the fences, and you get one of the best swings for the fences in this draft. So good for Spurs with this 14th pick. Now with 15, you are Portland. You wanted this guy at 11, and you're kind of kicking yourselves as fans that you're not going to get him because he kind of fit the Kamara, Shaden Sharp sort of movement with Klingon. But you're going to get Carter Bryant here at 15, and everyone is dapping each other up in the front office room because he has fallen this far. But I'm going to take Carter Bryant here. This is a great pick for Portland. He falls to 15, and now you've got the 15th pick, and now you still have the 24th pick. You get another pick in this draft, just 9 picks away, and you're cheering. You missed out on the... Who did the Thunder get? Ace and Yule? You weren't going to take him anyway. You were going to take Carter Bryant. You fall picks. You get him anyway, and now you've got a 24th pick. So really good pick up for Portland. He kind of matches their age and identity, and I think he has one of the best upsides next to Noah Essengay in this draft to kind of be a 5 to 10 range to be one of the better players. So Carter Bryant, great pick for them. Love the length, love the size, love the potential. Now the 16th pick is the Memphis Grizzlies. They got this out of the Desmond Bane trade. Now you're looking at this. They don't have Bane. They don't have Ja. They just took Jeremiah Fears to run the one. They've got Scottie Pippen as a backup. You've got Brendan Clark, you've got Jaren Jackson, you've got Zach Edey, you've got Gigi Jackson, you've got Aldama, you've got Bagley in your front court. I don't mind them taking another backup big for Zach Edey, and even playing over Zach Edey some games if he works out to be better. You've got the 48th pick as well. You can go get wings in free agency, in my opinion. It's not that hard to get wings. And looking at this, Nick Clifford is probably the best option as a wing, or maybe Rasheer Fleming. But I like their 4 depth, so I'm not going to take Rasheer. I wouldn't be mad about a Nick Clifford pick here, but I'm going to take Thomas Sorba. I think he's going to back up Zach Edey. Love his lob threat potential. I love the size. I think he's going to be a great big. I think he's a shot blocker. I think he can rim run. He can shoot a little bit. So I like Thomas Sorba here. I love the potential, and I think he's kind of a good backup for Zach Edey moving forward, and potentially to look past Zach Edey and maybe start him. Love this pick for Grizzlies. You're kind of building a team around Fears now, looking forward in this mock. Now the Chicago Bulls. They don't have Lonzo Ball anymore. You've still got Kobe White here. You've got Josh Giddey. I'm going to make a deal later on. I'm kind of spoiling it, and we've kind of already got that in place. It just hasn't been announced yet. I'm going to take a guard here. Now, I know Vucevic could be on the go, but I'm going to solve that problem in my next deal. I don't mind the wings, just presuming they keep Pat Will and Buzelis. I think a lot of these guys can play 2-3 into Sunmu, Herder, E.T. Dalen Terry, etc. Josh Giddey should be the one, but I think he just plays better when he's a 1 or 2. I think he plays good next to Kobe White. I think he needs to start and be ball dominant. And I'm going to take another guard here and make a twin tower guard position in Igor Demon. We're going to take best player available. We're not going to overthink it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But Igor Demon looks insane from the film. Played great at BYU. I was a believer in him. He's got a great shot, good passing, good size. His shot making in game, the stats won't back him up, but just watching him work out, I think you're a believer in it. Can play combo guard. I think you just throw him and Giddey out there. They're going to be able to get steals, get deflections. They're going to be able to create for this team. And then you look towards building around these guys. But Igor Demon, I think, is the best player on the board, and they're going to just take him here. Now the Wizards at 18. They took Kaman Malawach at the 5. Behringer wouldn't be a bad pick here behind Sarin. Kind of build another French connection there. Don't mind McNeely. Remember, they lost Kispert and Rashawn Holmes in that Ja Morant trade. So don't mind McNeely to kind of fill Kispert's shoes and kind of continue to build that foundation I was talking about. Danny Wolf is a really interesting prospect here. He really is. I don't think they're going to take him. I'm a huge fan of Hugo Gonzalez. Nolan Traore, if you want to fill that one spot, potentially, but you didn't take Fears. Nolan Traore is not the one either. So Walter Clayton, you could take a risk on, but I'm going to give them more front court depth. And we're going to take Rasheer Fleming. Adds to that foundation. He can play the 4, start or off the bench. Great shooter, hustler, can rebound, can run, and he's going to add to this defensive menace of a lineup. And they're going to continue to build. I really like these picks for Washington. I don't know about everyone else. Fleming and Malowach, adding to what they already have. And like I said, hopefully you get that guy in the next draft, or potentially bring someone young in. Doubt it. I think they're going to build through the draft like Will Dawkins has been saying. Love this pick for them. Rasheer Fleming, let's keep building. Now I've got another trade. Bulls fans might not be happy with me on this one, but if I'm Bulls, let's hit the hard reset button. Very hard reset button. Alrighty. Before you freak out, Bulls fans, just hear me out. I don't like the Kobe White fit. I don't. I think you look towards Bezelis, Giddey, and whoever else you draft in this draft. Now you took Igor Demon, and you like that twin tower combo. You're going to kind of give them the ropes, Demon and Giddey. You see someone on the board that can kind of fill the shoes if Vucevic walks, or you have plans to move Vucevic if he goes to Warriors. Whatever may happen, you don't see Vucevic in your long-term plans. Then your bigs are Zach Collins and Jalen Smith. That ain't working for us. And we see someone that's going to fit with the guy we just drafted. You get the 19th pick. And you take a flyer on Dariq Whitehead, who has shown a lot of promise. Hasn't played much due to injury. Was one of the top recruits out of high school. Shooter. And he can almost slot in at that 3 spot. You took TSJ. Let's go get Dariq Whitehead and give him minutes. Okay, we've got the room. We've got the roster for it. Why not take a risk? Don't sleep on Dariq Whitehead in this deal. Kobe White is very good. Now, the Nets are kind of thinking, maybe we don't keep D'Lo. We probably won't. We're going to get an exciting roster and kind of create a little play-in team and give Ace Bailey the environment to excel and kind of get experience straight under his belt. We went and got Ace Bailey. We have Kobe White now. We've still got Cam Johnson. We still have Nick Claxton. We have Cam Thomas. That's an exciting team in Brooklyn. That's a good foundation for Ace Bailey. And we get a point guard who's 25 for pick 19 and Dariq Whitehead. We're kind of looking at that and going, why not? Let's do it. We lose 10 million cap space. We've got the cap space to do it. Bulls also gain 10 million cap space in this deal. They can go and make some deals with that 10 mil. So the Bulls are going to get the 19th pick. They took Igor Demon with the 19th pick. I do really like Hugo Gonzalez. I do like Nick Clifford. I don't mind Nick Clifford playing that wing spot for them. I think Nick Clifford, like Noah Essengay and like Carter Bryant, has the potential to be really, really good. Will Riley's also not a bad pick. I don't mind Danny Wolf if you're going to pick a 5 spot, but for them, we're thinking long term, we're thinking upside. We want a superstar home run pick. And we're going to take the flyer on the French big man, Joan Berenger. We think he's pretty good. We think he can be a really good lob threat next to the new backcourt we've made in Josh Giddey and Demon. He's going to be a lob threat. He's going to run the floor. He's going to defend. And he's going to have time with the Chicago Bulls team with their wings. And we're going to just make a transition running, defensive, lob threat team. And this is going to be a really fun watch if we're Bulls fans. And we're hitting the reset button. Sorry, Kobe White. You will be missed. But go kill it in Brooklyn. We're going to take Joan Berenger and Igor Demon. Now, Miami. I was looking to move this pick. I think they'll keep it. I'm a bit unsure what they're going to do this offseason. Do they try and get someone and keep pushing in the Open East? Or do they, hit the reset button and try and restart? Maybe get rid of Bam. I don't know what they're going to do. So, if I'm Miami, I'm going to stop the fall here of Nick Clifford. I think he's the best player still available, and I think he's got the best upside still available. I don't mind the Rozier, Davion Mitchell. I think the Rozier experiment hasn't ended yet. I think he's still a great player. Tyler Hero is obviously your best player, scoring-wise, and then Bam Adebayo, Khalil Ware, Khalil Ware is sort of the future. They didn't want to move him. You've still got Jovic. There's still got a young core here. Hayward Highsmith and Jaquez. We're going to go... Hayward Highsmith can kind of move to the 4. We're going to play Nick Clifford behind Andrew Wiggins. And we love this pick. We think he's great. He can rebound. Good size. One of the best scorers in this draft. And we're happy with this pick. And we're happy he fell to 20. Now, with the 21st pick, the Utah Jazz took Trey Johnson. Concerns about Walker Kessler returning. Either way, there's also trade rumors with Lauri Markkanen and John Collins. This is an easy pick for me. Best player available. We're going to take Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf, do your research. This guy moves crazy. He's doing spin step backs off the wrong leg. He's great around the rim. Great passing big. Great rebounding big. Can run. Shades of Jokic, to be honest. Great shooter. Obviously, he's 21. Doesn't concern me if I'm Utah. This is a really fun project player. And we're really excited he fell to 21. So we're going to get Danny Wolf and Trey Johnson with picks to come. Happy about that if we're Utah. Now, the Atlanta Hawks have this pick thanks to LA. Now, we took Cedric Coward, who we're pretty happy with. And with this pick, we're going to take a flyer. We did want a backup guard. We don't like our depth. Terrence Mann and Karis LeVert next to Dyson Daniels is okay. Behind Dyson Daniels, sorry. Kobe Buffkin, we're still believing in him. We'll keep him on the roster. But we need someone that's going to impact right now. We're looking at this Atlanta Hawks team like this young team can make a real push. We don't have injuries like the rest of them. We believe in this team. We're keeping Trae Young. We're going to give him a roster to work with. And we're going to build through the draft. And we're going to take a swing here. We're going to take Walter Clayton Jr. Really reminds me of Damian Lillard. Just won the March Madness tournament. Can straight up score. Can shoot from beyond. And will have a great mentor in Trae Young. I think he can walk in and impact straight away at 22 years old. And this is a great piece for them. If they need scoring when Trae Young's not on, let's sub this guy in and see how he goes. If he can get the hot hand, we're running. So, really like this pick in Walter Clayton. Nolan Traore was an option. Ben Saraf is a really good option here as well. But I like Walter Clayton Jr. as my backup one if I'm Atlanta. And we're not going to doubt him. We're going to take him with the 22nd pick. Now, the New Orleans Pelicans with the 23rd pick just got Ja Morant and Zion duo running. And obviously, you lose Herb, who you were high on. You lose CJ McCollum. You lost DeJounte as well. You're kind of just moving on from everything. Now, you got Ja Morant, and you did not lose Yves Missi. You did not lose Trey Murphy. You did not lose Hawkins. You kept Alvarado too as your backup. McNeely really wouldn't be a bad pick here for them. But I think they're pretty high on Jace Richardson. A lot of people are high on Jace Richardson. Obviously, his measurements from the pre-draft didn't come back too great. But we're a big fan of him. He can defend. He can shoot. We think he's a pro. He's obviously a freshman as well. Athletic. And just knows how to play. Knows how to read the game. And we think we're getting a really good player with JC. Obviously, they're going to have to fill out their roster a bit more with free agency. But Ja Morant and Zion Williamson is box office for me. And they're going to get a really good player here at 23. And they're surprised he fell this far. Now, Portland, through the trade with OKC, they're going to get another pick here. And they're going to try and look to fill the backup for Scoot, presuming they don't bring back Holiday. They might bring back Holiday. I think it's pretty silly for them to keep Holiday as a cap filler, maybe as a mentor for Scoot. But they're not going to make a push in the West. The West is too stacked at the moment. I'd be going young and just see how exciting this roster can go. See how many wins they can get. Maybe they make play-in as a 10th spot. Get some experience under their belt and just keep building. And just ride this roster out as much as they can until they get enough experience and build together, especially with Carter Bryant. You know, you've got Denny, you've got Kamara, you've got Shaden Sharp, you've got Klingon. We're going to take a guard and a swing here on someone that could potentially be really, really good. And that's Ben Saraf. He can play behind Scoot. He can move and play behind Shaden. Really good scorer. Got that lefty floater. 6'6", good size. Can play 1 or 2. And is putting up insane stats in the league he is currently playing in. And we are excited about Ben Saraf. Obviously, we thought he'd go a bit earlier than this if we're Portland. And I really like this pick for them. Pretty big on Ben Saraf. So I'm pretty happy with that. And we get a combo guard to sit behind our current guards. Now, if I'm the Orlando Magic, shooting was my biggest concern. Hugo Gonzalez is a really good player. I just think he kind of, Tristan da Silva, kind of butt heads, Franz Wagner, kind of similar. We're going to kind of fill a hole here with the shooting. I don't mind a backup. I'm just kind of trusting in Suggs and Anthony Black to run the one, in my opinion. But we're going to get another shooter and a person who can be really, really good in this league, and that's going to be Liam McNeely, obviously on that Verd team as well. Wasn't great, wasn't like eye-popping shooting in college, but Liam McNeely was really good heading into the college season. His high school shooting splits were insane, and we're going to take him here with 25. Obviously, once again, ESPN's got him ranked 16, so we're pretty high that we got a wing shooter and someone that can slot into any roster here at 25, and someone that's going to probably come off the bench for us and play decent minutes next season on a pretty stacked team that's going to make a push in the East. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, they took Ace Bailey. Obviously, they lost their 27th pick, so this is their only other pick in the first round. Don't mind Will Riley here, but I'm going to take a guy I'm super high on, and that's Hugo Gonzalez. I don't mind them getting a one if they're going to move off D'Lo. They did lose Whitehead. I think they're just going to take another wing. I really don't like their wings. I wouldn't mind Jeremiah Fears on this team to pair with Cam Thomas. But if they're going to keep D'Lo, Cam Thomas, and have this fun sort of lineup to build around Ace, I think they're going to take Hugo Gonzalez here, who I think is going to be really, really good. And this is going to be a fun team to watch in the East and see how they build around Ace. I really like this pick, Hugo Gonzalez, and I'll be excited if I'm a Nets fan. Go do your research and watch a bit of his tape and pray you get him at 26 or 27 in the actual draft. Now, Philly. You're probably wondering why Philly's on the board right now. It's because they traded their third pick to the Nets, and you're kind of looking at this board and going, some interesting options here if I'm Philly. I'm going to kind of fill their big man. They lost Drummond in that Nets trade. I'm going to kind of fill that big man depth spot for Philly. Maxime Renaud does seem like the pick. Very mobile, big, can shoot. If you look at his averages here, he averaged 20 and 10 boards for Stanford. I'm not going to take him. I'm going to take Ryan Kalkbrenner. I think he's just better around the rim. I think he's more solid. I think he is just better naturally at rebounding. And I just think he's got better touch. And I think he'll slot in straight away and help this team. At 22 years old, I think he's the pick here over Renaud. Just eye test. I think he's going to be the better player. He's taller as well, better measurements. I think he's going to be good straight away. And I'd be taking him here if I'm Philadelphia, and you walk away with Conker Nipple and Ryan Kalkbrenner. Now, the Boston Celtics just got rid of Drew. They're trying to get under that second apron. I think Porzingis might be on the move as well. Just his availability isn't great. Maybe they keep him. This isn't going to change my pick. Noah Pender is also an interesting pick here for them. I've got them taking Maxime Renaud. I don't think he falls below this. He averages 20 a game, 10 boards, 22 years old as well. Just a mobile big. Kind of has Boston written all over him. Can shoot. I like his passing. Does seem to kind of dribble himself into trouble a little bit, but I think that's something he can work on. And I think he can play behind Cornet or whatever other big they get. And I don't mind this pick for Boston, kind of a project play. Now, Phoenix, they took Derek Queen. Another interesting spot for them. I think they're going to take a one, whether they bring Tyus Jones back or not. I think they're going to take best point guard on the board here, and they're going to take a swing at Nolan Traore. One of those guys that was top 5 projected before heading into the college season. Had a bit of an inconsistent season over in France. But we're going to take a swing here. We think he's got good upside. And he can play behind Tyus. Another project play. If he works out, he works. He works really well. But they're just trying to build and try and get as many good players as they can. He's kind of the best player on the board. Last pick in the draft. Now, this is an interesting one. Adu Thiero makes a lot of sense. Noah Pender makes a lot of sense as wing defenders that can run. I think they're kind of covered with the whole wings. Kawhi Leonard. They just drafted Kobe Brown. I like Jordan Miller. They got Batum. They got Derek Jones. They got Amir Coffey. They got Bogdan Bogdanovic. Chris Dunn as a defending guard. They don't really have a backup big. They don't really have a solid 4-man either. They've got Ben Simmons at the 1 here who can sort of play the 4, I'm going to go and get someone that's a win-now player and that can impact immediately. And that's one of the best players in college basketball last season. That's going to be Janai Broome. A lot of people aren't believing in him. A lot of people don't like him at all in this draft. I'm not sure why. He gives me a lot of Julius Randle vibes, obviously left-handed power forward. But I think he can slot in straight into that power forward position and play solid minutes for them and impact immediately, straight away. I think this guy's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to... I'm not going to kind of fall into the trap of everyone kind of letting him fall to 50, 45, 50 range. I think Clippers take a win-now player and one of the best players in college basketball for a reason. Out of Auburn, Janai Broome. Now I'm going to kind of skim through my second-round picks so I can show you where I have the Aussies falling. Now Philly, they've obviously got Kalkbrenner and Knipple. We're going to go get another proven guy that can play at a high level, and that's going to be the first Aussie off my board. This is going to be Alex Tui. I think he can slot into this kind of wing spot, especially if Kelly Oubre moves. I think Alex Tui can get on the court next season, potentially for them. He is a floor-running wing. His shot is just getting better by the day. Great around the rim. He's got a floater. Defends insane. Got great length. We're going to take Alex Tui here. And he's definitely younger than some of these prospects as well. So we like Alex Tui with this pick, and we're happy he fell. I've got another Aussie going back-to-back. Now, the Nets took Ace and Hugo. They're going to take a massive swing here. Hansen is still on the board. Now, from what I saw in the G League camp and the pre-draft scrimmages, a lot of people are high on him. It's just not pushing it for me. Now, Rocco didn't play much. He played a bit in his first year, played a bit in his second year. If you watched his second year, you would think he's going off undrafted, unfortunately. But we're going to take a huge swing in here on the 7'3" big. That can be a lob threat. And with scoring guards and a scoring wing and ace, we're going to hope he's at the dunker spot and he's just going to get open lobs and be a rim protector for us. We're going to take a swing, and in 3 or 4 years, we're hoping Rocco is a stretch 7'3" big that puts on size. He's fast now, and he's one of the best shot blockers in the league. We're going to take Rocco, and we're going to develop him. He's going to play behind Nick Claxton, Day'Ron Sharp. They're going to bully him a bit at training. But in 3 years' time, Rocco's going to be really good. And we're happy to get him here at 36. But they're going to take Tyrese Proctor here. This is going to be where Tyrese goes. I think best case scenario, Tyrese kills Summer League. He kills the preseason. And he finds himself a slot right here behind Bub / Brogdon / Marcus Smart. So I've got them taking Tyrese Proctor here with the 40th pick. Now the Bulls here, Igor Demon, Joe and Barringer. We're going to get another rim running big who can play the 4, and he's coming off an NBL chip. We're going to go get Lockie Aldrich, another Australian. Really liking what I'm seeing from here. Reports are saying Cleveland and New York like him, so maybe he goes to those teams. But I've got the Bulls taking a swing on him, and he pairs up with the Australian Josh Giddey. Rim running big, great around the rim, can even spot out and shoot, defends really well, and great dunking in transition as well. Head above rim, cock back dunks. Big fan of Lockie Aldrich, and has had a bit of experience winning an NBL chip. He's also 19, so not a bad pick here for the Bulls. Now this is my mock draft. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously there was a few trades. This is not going to go down. My mock draft might be way off. Some of these picks, Philly might draft for the 3rd and I'm off straight away. So taking a risk here, I don't mind it. I think my best fits is the Grizzlies situation. I think they hit the reset button. I like them building around Fears and taking the risk on him. I really like Malowach to the Wizards. And then at 18, they went and got Rasheer Fleming. And then at 40, they got Tyrese Proctor, which would probably be my ideal draft. A bit of bias. Mavericks, obviously, getting Flag, great fit. Edgecombe to Hornets is a great fit. Con Knipple with Kalkbrenner. And who else did Philly land? Alex Tui. Great draft for them. I think Ace and Newell and Chaz Lanny into the Thunder is insane. Carter Bryant falling to 15 for Portland. And then they also got Ben Seraph. Really like that fit as well. But that's kind of it. I'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining me on my mock draft. I think Thursday I'll do another video / podcast where I react to where the Aussies land in Lachlan Aldrich, Tyrese Proctor, Rocco Zikarsky, and Alex Tui. But that's it for this episode. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you subscribe and follow on whatever podcast streaming platform you guys are listening on, and I'll catch you in the next one.